to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
And now our Sandoval County Land Acknowledgement, written by our very own Vice Chair Tweety Suazo and Leah Aki-Bakowitz, our Ward Chair. We recognize that Sandoval County is located on the ancestral land of Indigenous people. We acknowledge and honor our land caretakers and commit to retain and advocate for the traditions and cultural knowledge Indigenous people have practiced since time immemorial. Have a seat. Thank you. All right, so I hope candidates have all signed in to speak. And hi, Josh. You're going to be first up. Because you're, but not yet. Hold on. So I want to welcome you to the Democratic Party of Sandoval County second Saturday event. I mentioned Tweety Suazo, who is not with us today, Vice Chair Suazo. We do have Vice Chair Chavis with us. Isaac, would you please stand up? There you are. Yay! All righty then. So I have to explain to the camera that we're meeting in person at Matucci's Moderno Italian restaurant at 1908 Wellspring Avenue in Rio Rancho. Thanks to everyone for attending. Be sure to sign in. You may notice some donation envelopes at your table. The Democratic Party of Sandoval County would greatly appreciate any support you might be able to give us. It is a Secretary of State reporting requirement that we have your information to say where the donations come from, because we believe in transparency. So please consider donating. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? We have a special menu. It's on the table. Please remember that the pandemic has been rough on everyone, especially those in the restaurant industry. So please consider ordering something to go as well as eating here. And I will tell you that last time I got some gelato and it was amazing. So during the pandemic, I used to come here and get cookie dough and put it in the air fryer, and they have lots of good stuff here is what I'm trying to tell you. Please remember to tip our wait staff. They work really hard for us. And don't forget to come to Matucci's during the week when we're not meeting for second Saturday. So first up, actually, is going to be Pete Zollinger. Pete, do you need the mic?
Since when do I need a mic?
That's what I thought.
Okay, as I always start, remember, our judges cannot hold to the party platform. We call them our resolutions. I do not mean may not, I mean they cannot tell you they feel, because if anything like that comes up in their courtroom, they have to recuse themselves. Okay, now, as Chair Lady Alex just said, well, you don't see me. I am your state party sergeant at arms at this time, unless I'm reaching into your pocket. So, please consider the envelopes for Sandoval County Democratic Party, and I also have the envelopes for the state party. But our judges cannot do that. Okay? Never mind, I'm denying you to your constitutional right to participate. Okay. So, the main reason that I'm actually here is to get the $5 matching contributions. We're fine for Justice Julie Vargas and Justice Brianna Zamora. But we still need $5 matching contributions to get the public financing for Judge Gerald Baca and Judge Katie, well, let's say Catherine Ann Ray. I hope you will be so inclined. See us about that. Now, if you have already given and willing to give more, there is also the seed money. You can give our 4 statewide judges up to $100 in seed money. Please consider it if you've already given. Now, wait a minute, I have 30 seconds.
No, sir.
Mr. Chavis, where are you? Come here, sir.
For Isaac, yeah.
Now, know that I got paid for the signatures I got. From the Michelle Lujan Grisham and Howie Morris signature getting effort. Since you got them for me, here's this favorite picture of Andy. 1, 2, 3 of his. Did I give you 3 more? Good day, Buck. For what you got for.
Good job. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I'm not done.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, then there was our land commissioner, Stephanie.
Oh my gosh.
Get his picture again. And I think I counted right. 2 of his pictures. So, now I report this. Oh, you could give it back if you want.
Take the money.
Okay, come back and see us on the contributions. But again, no and no. Okay?
They can't talk about the platform. You can talk to, what's your name? Taylor. Or Darlene, right? You can talk to them all you want. They're really nice to talk to also. All right.
I'm going to reserve what I need for advice for everybody.
For the judges. Thank you, Isaac. All right, right on. Thanks, Pete. Now, moving on. Josh, you're up. You don't need the mic.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out, who supported, who voted in District 3. It showed because we are now in a runoff with the incumbent Bob Tyler. And to be quite honest, I think they think they've already won, right?
Wow.
They have a certain amount of hubris that I feel that's coming from that side. So it is up to all of us to get out, to vote, to tell your friends to get out, to vote, and let's turn this seat in District 3. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I think we all know we have about 27 days to get this done. The runoff is going to be April 12th. Early voting, I talked to Rebecca. I want to say it's going to start March 26th. So we have a couple of weeks to get out there and really pound the pavement. So my ask today is one, of course, we have to do some fundraising, right? We have to do what we did in 3 months in 30 days. But more importantly, I need help canvassing, getting out, talking to voters. So if you have some time, and if you wouldn't mind volunteering, get with Alex. She'll give you my contact information, and I'll connect you with my volunteer coordinator. And if you could, volunteer at least an hour to get out, help me canvass, talk to these voters, and help flip this seat. So that's my ask today, and I just want to say thank you for getting out and voting for me in District 3, and let's continue to do this work. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, I have a question for you. Do you need to live in your district to help?
No,
Does someone need to live in your district to donate money to your campaign?
absolutely not.
All right, so anybody from anywhere can donate
Anybody
money.
from anywhere can help, yes.
What's the limit?
The limit, if you guys have it, is 3,000.
Right on. So dig deep, everybody. Dig deep. We got to flip this seat, right? All right, let's see who's up. Next up, Karen and Delbert Schaefer. Candidate sign-in. Oh, you were the example. Okay. Never mind. All right. Next up, you guys are going to be so glad you came today. We have, first of all, a fabulous program. number one. And number two, we're going to introduce you to some amazing new candidates. They just declared this past week. We're so excited. I'm especially excited about this next guy I'm going to introduce to you. His name is Greg Bennett. Welcome. Give him a good Sandoval County Democratic Party welcome. You don't need it?
I don't think so. All right, so Alex has given me about 2 minutes to tell you about my 60 years on this planet. So, here I go. Number one, I'm Greg Bennett, and I'm running for Sandoval County Commissioner in District 3. Second thing is, a little bit about me. I grew up in Oakland, California, and then meandered my way throughout the United States for academic positions, and finally ended up at University of Nebraska Health Center. All right? Okay, all right, enough of that. Down and back. So my principal activities there were doing research on environmentally induced birth defects. Okay, so I was interested in all those things that mom is exposed to, whether it was nutrition or anything in the environment that would cause adverse fetal outcomes. That's what I did for about 30 years. Retired, then I took up a position as a volunteer in this thing called the MRC, which is the Medical Reserve Corps. The medical is a bunch of people who get together that are people in the healthcare, and then people like myself who go out and participate in guiding the counties and the people so that we could get together and really take over, or not take over, but really to support the first responders. We were really worried about things like tornadoes in the Midwest. So when a tornado comes in and it kills 1,500 people, the local authorities are out of their league. So they need somebody to come in and help them, and that's what we were. I left that position, and about 18 months ago, we moved down here to this great place in New Mexico, in Rio Rancho. And how could you not want to live here? These are beautiful places. And this is why I'm running for commissioner. It's really because I want to have a seat at the table to keep it like it is. I don't want to change this to some type of just factories. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. Now, I've only been here 18 months. I know that I don't know everything about Sandoval, Sandoval, Kansas. I don't know all that stuff. Believe me. I don't know everything about Sandoval County, but talking to you and talking to everybody around me, I'm hoping that we will find those things that are really a priority for you, and I will work with you to find resolutions to them. Again, my name is Greg Bennett, and I'm running for County Commissioner for the District 3.
Excellent. Thank you. Awesome. So, Greg, do you have a website yet? We're working on it. That's right. We're meeting about it today. We're going to let you know. Watch our website for links to the candidate website.
Yeah, we're getting all that stuff together.
We're going to get it together. Pictures.
You're up.
The president of the Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women.
Hello, everybody. I'm actually up here to ask you, if you haven't already joined, you've missed out on some really great things that the Federation's been doing. We had a meeting with the National Federation on last Wednesday, and we got to hear from, and I have to write her name down because I can never remember how to say it, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Biden's pick for the Supreme Court. That's awesome. She's really great. And then we also had asked Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, questions, and she answered them for us. And it was just a really fabulous meeting, and I'm sorry y'all missed it. But we are having a meeting April 23rd, which is a Saturday, and we're going to be listening to all of the candidates who are running for the general election, or actually they'll still be running for primary. And we don't have a place yet, although we're working on that. So I'm asking you, if you haven't already joined, please see, where are you? Oh, there she is. Please see Jade right over there in the corner, and she's got applications, and you'll be missing a lot if you don't get to come and see us. Thanks.
So, Deb, do you have to be a woman to join this group? Okay, just want to make sure.
It helps.
It's just $20.
It is just $20. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's a dual membership for the New Mexico Federation of Democratic Women. I was on that call. Karen Schaefer reminded me about it, and I got on it. It was really good, really good. Next up, we have F. Kenneth Eichwald, Sandoval County Commissioner, District 2, who is running for Magistrate Judge, District 2.
Good morning. I'm F. Kenneth Eichwald, and I go by Kenneth Eichwald, and I'm currently the Commissioner for District 5, not District 2. But I am running for, I'm trying to change hats. I used to be the magistrate judge in Sandoval County, and I spent 24 years at that position. One thing I'm going to tell you is that experience counts a lot in being a judge, because one thing that I can tell you is that there's no schools to go to be a judge. There's schools to go to after you become a judge. So it's very, very important that experience has a factor in this race. And I do have the experience, 24 years. I'm a graduate from UNM school, and I taught school for 9 years. I taught school from 1981 to 1990, and then I became judge. Okay, I've also been a coach. I've been a leader in my community. I've also been, I still am the treasurer of the Archibald Ditch Association. And I'm involved very, very much in the acequias in New Mexico. Okay, so one thing is that I did attend the National Judicial College in Reno, Nevada. I took all their coursework, and I completed their coursework. So just so you know that I do have that experience. Lastly, you know, the event for the election is on June 7th. I would appreciate that you would consider voting for me. This is a county-wide race. This is the only magistrate race that has any opposition. The other two judges are in Division 1 and Division 3. There is no opposition in those races. So I would, again, ask you to consider voting for me on June 7th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ken, hold on, Ken.
Well done.
Hold on. You understand that once, I know you've been an active Democrat for years and years and years here, but once you get elected, the same no that I said to him and her applies to
Yes.
you.
Commissioner Eichwald was a magistrate judge previously.
Okay.
So, excellent. Thank you.
And just to be a little clarification on that, the judges that are on Court of Appeals and Supreme Court district judges, they have a different rule set than what magistrates do.
Per the New
That's
Mexico
okay, we can
Code
debate
of
this later.
Judicial Contact.
Next up, we have Commissioner Catherine Bruck.
I guess you all know my name. Catherine Bruck, Sandoval County Commission, District 1. District 1 is not what it was, thanks to the Republicans on the commission who decided to redistrict me out of my district. I love my new district, but I am so sorry for those of you who are sitting at the table. I lose one and I gain one. But you know me. I'm going to represent all of you, all of Sandoval County, and most importantly, democratic principles. So for many of us who are being primary, I would just say, take a good look at who that primary opposition is. Have they participated in the party? Have they supported other candidates? Have they worked on the ground for the things that we believe in? Have they been registered as a Democrat for the first time? For the second time? Or the whatever? Come on, folks. We know those aren't Democrats and they don't believe in the things that we believe in. I was in the last two commission meetings where Democrats showed up and supported resolutions put on the agenda and or packed a room with people that were supporting values that don't represent our beliefs. That was done by a Republican on the commission, and Democrats came and gave public comment in support of those resolutions. Those are not Democrats. You can't stand up and say, I understand that we can agree to disagree on process or how we get to the end result, but the end result is where we want to be. And we believe in equality, integrity, transparency. We believe in climate change. We believe in the science, and we don't need that nonsense in the room. So I just ask that for your continued support in my re-election bid, because there are many things that county government does that affects many people day in, day out. Basic services, public safety, roads, that should be our focus. How we do that is incredibly important, and I know that that is my goal, is to get us the things that we need from our local government and to do it with improved efforts on the dais, in civility and respect, and recognizing that the way forward is for us to continue to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Catherine Brooks, Sandoval County Commissioner District 1. Next up, another brand new candidate, Kathleen Cates.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathleen Cates. I'm running for your state representative in District 44. I have a couple of asks for you on your table. You have a walking card that will tell you a little bit about my platforms. I'm also going to have an event at Sandoval on April 14th. I'm looking for sponsors, and there's also a clipboard if you are interested in becoming a volunteer or help me on my campaign. It's going around right here. Every other sentence I'm supposed to say, please donate, vote for Kathleen. I have a website and I have set up an act flow. Please vote for Kathleen. I've been a resident of this district for 16 years. I've raised my kids here. I've been a member of Rotary. I've used civic work. I've been an executor for nonprofits for many years, and I've always have worked in community service, but this is my first ask as an elected official. So please remember Kathleen and Cates, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I happen to know Kathleen is behind a fundraising crunch right now, so you can go to her website, vote, F-O-R, Kathleen with a K.com, and donate today. Please do. All right, next up is Judge Gerald Baca.
When I'm not a judge, I'm a referee, so I'm used to using my loud voice, especially in basketball games. I just came from the pit watching some basketball down there, and it's just incredible to see all those student athletes play their hearts out. I'm Gerald Baca. I'm from Las Vegas, New Mexico. I'm on the Court of Appeals. I was appointed to the Court of Appeals by the governor in April of 2020, and I've been on the Court of Appeals 2021. Since then. Prior to that, I was a district court judge in Las Vegas in what's called the 4th Judicial District, which is primarily San Miguel, Mora, and Guadalupe counties, which is Mora, Las Vegas, and Santa Rosa. But because we are short on judges, I did a lot of cases, heard a lot of cases all over northeast New Mexico, including Taos, Clayton, Clovis, Tucumcari, all of those areas. Prior to that, I was in private practice for about 20 years in Las Vegas, doing general practice, the kind of stuff that you might imagine a small town lawyer would do, such as the wills, divorces, property cases, that sort of stuff. But I also did a lot of criminal defense work because I had been a prosecutor prior to that for 6 years. Right after law school, I graduated from the University of New Mexico School of Law, and right after that, I was hired by the district attorney's office in Santa Fe and worked for them for 2 years and learned quite a bit from the senior attorneys who were there, who were, I think, probably amongst the finest trial lawyers in the state. They had actually prosecuted all the cases, if you can remember, the 1980 prison riots and all that happened a long, long time ago. they primarily did all of that work, and I was fortunate that they cut their teeth on that and learned how to do trial work and prosecution, and they were able to take me under their wing and teach me about that, and I learned a great deal from them. Then after doing that for 2 years, I moved back to my hometown, worked in the district attorney's office there for 4 years, prosecuting cases you can imagine, from the criminal trespass case all the way up to the homicide case, rape case, and left that office as the chief deputy district attorney, who was primarily in charge of the day-to-day operations for that area. So my experience is varied. I got a lot of experience in all areas of law, and I want to bring that experience to the Court of Appeal and to continue serving you as a public servant, not just for my area in San Miguel County, northeastern New Mexico, but for the entire state, including here in central New Mexico, where I have my adult children and my grandchildren live and work. And so thank you very much for your 2 minutes of attention. I appreciate it, and thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Judge Baca. And again, if you have $10 on you today and you can donate $5 to Judge Baca and $5 to Judge Ray, that would be amazing. Helps them qualify for public financing. Next up, Judge Ray.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here with you and to see all these faces. It's just wonderful. My name is Catherine Ray. I was appointed to the Court of Appeals by the governor in September. And there's been a lot of talk about judges and experience. My experience is for 15 years, I worked to get back to the Court of Appeals because I love the pace of the Court of Appeals. I love the breadth of the kinds of cases that we consider and the stories that come before us and the kind of work we can do for the entire state. I spent 4 years working for the courts to figure out the courts. I spent 10 to 11 years in private practice. I helped the judges in the 2nd Judicial Criminal District work more than 400 criminal cases so that I could become familiar with and easy with criminal law. It became something that is just a tool to use, right? And then I also, at the same time, had a civil practice. I did trial work so that you're in the courtroom, you're seeing how civil trials work and how you prepare and how the judges see the issues. And I did a great deal of appellate work. In my 11 years, I had about 40 appeals in the court where I now sit. So I spent those 15 years working really hard to get right back to where I am. I love my seat, my job. I'm so excited to work with my colleagues to mentor new lawyers as law clerks and try to help our systems increase their efficiency, get the job done, and make just our community the best it can possibly be. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Judge Ray. Again, just $10 will get it done. And make sure everybody signs in. There should be a clipboard going around with a sign in. Next up is Kate Stetson from the Rio Rancho NAACP. Okay, I'll stand over here. I have to get my clipboard.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Madam Chair for allowing me to address you this morning. And thank you to Pete Zollinger, who maybe 400 years ago was keeping order for me when I was Bernalillo County Chair. But I don't live in Sandoval County anymore, but I did for a long, long, long time. And especially want to thank all of the candidates here for what you are getting yourself into. It's a wonderful sacrifice, but it's so worthwhile. Whether you make it or not, it's so worthwhile. I'm so grateful that there's a group like this that works this hard. My name is Kate Stetson. I am the president of the Rio Rancho Northwest Mesa National Association for Advancement of Colored People. We are the oldest and biggest civil rights organization that I know of in this country, therefore probably in the world. And I am not here to ask for your vote. I'm here to invite you to a party. And a good party it is at that. next month on April 9th, the Rio Rancho NAACP will be having our Calcutta. Some of you may remember a similar Calcutta back in the old days with the National Council, forget that. This is a fun time. The tickets are $20 each. You go there. We have live music, Rodney Bowe, Tony Morgan. Everybody, this is a great excuse to dress up and wear your hats, especially hats. And we will have a raffle. The first ticket that is drawn will get $1,000 cash.
Woo.
There are another 10 or 20 prizes, everything from admission to the Albuquerque Museum, to artwork, to jewelry, etc. We really would like to have you come from 1 to 3. It's at 1305 Rio Grande Boulevard, which is my law firm, and there's food and drink. I'd love you to join the Rio Rancho NAACP if you're so inclined. I have the application forms, I have tickets, I'm ready to sell merchandise, but we especially know, everybody here, how important this year is. And the NAACP is very active in voting registration and get out the vote. I hope you will support us. Thank you for what you're doing. And if you don't want to do anything today but are interested in knowing more about the Calcutta, NAACP.org. Click on Calcutta, you can buy tickets, you can learn about what we're doing in our criminal justice committees, in our political action committees, in our youth committees, etc. We're very active and would love to have other like-minded, active political people. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the NAACP supported the Rio Rancho candidates for office in the recent election?
The NAACP actually is technically not allowed to support candidates. We support issues.
Well, I meant, get out the vote, that kind of thing. Did you do that?
Well, some of our members do as individuals. And I might add here, candidate Barbara Jordan is a member of our particular branch of NAACP. But please understand, we can't endorse.
Thank you.
But we do have priorities and morals.
That last thing is big. That moral thing is huge. All right, next up. Okay, you guys are going to be so happy that you came here today. Not just to be with people, but do you remember this man's name?
Greg
Bennett. Do you remember her name back there? Right, new candidates, right? First time. Okay, we have one more brand new candidate. I have to tell you this story because it's just so fantastic. I am at the convention in Roswell, New Mexico in the Alien Museum. Right? And I'm talking to this vendor about publication, and this young woman comes up to me and says, "Are you Alex Pyland?" And I'm like, who knows me in Roswell? Right? So this lovely young lady comes up to me and we talked, and I twisted her arm just a tiny bit, not really. She's ready, you guys. And I want to introduce you to a new candidate in Sandoval County for House District 57, Michelle Sandoval.
I did meet Alex Pyland in Roswell. I also met Jessica Velasquez, the chair of the Democratic Party of New Mexico. She definitely gave me a lot of insight, and she motivated me to make this decision. I grew up in New Mexico. I've been here my whole life. I've lived in Rio Rancho for the past 16 years. I graduated from UNM when I was 20 years old, and I currently work for Sandoval County. So I have been a public servant since I can remember. I love to volunteer and I love to help people. And I know the biggest and the best place that I can make the impact is going to be sitting in an elected position. It just so happened to be that the district I live in is uncontested. It just so happens to be I was able to walk in the snow Monday night, knock door to door, get some petition signatures, and I was able to make it to get it filed and on the ballot Tuesday. I'm so excited to take this journey, and I know when I was door knocking, one of the biggest things that not whether any party that answered the door was like, wow, you're kind of young to be starting. And I was like, absolutely. I'm excited to come and bring a young face, and also to kind of guide more young people like me, more people. We were registered when we were 18, so we should be here when we're 18. Go to the parties, and we should make differences, and we should tell people what we want and how we want it. So I'm hoping to garner more young votes and more people into our committees and into our parties, so we can get all of us into office together. So my ask is, going forward, I'm going to be putting out my campaign, working in volunteers. Thankfully, I am uncontested in the primary, so I just have to go up in the generals. So I have 6 months, right, about 6 months. I will be working so hard for you guys. I'm going to be coming to all the parties, joining all the committees for sure. I'm so excited to be taking this journey. And I do want to shout out, I would not be here today if it wasn't for the people that gave me guidance. And I have to shout out to Laura Montoya and Jennifer Taylor, because they both gave me good insight of provided me a path of leadership, that this is a step that I need to take. So I'm so excited to be here for you guys. I do ask for your support. My name again is Michelle Sandoval for District 57, House Representative District 57. Thank you.
Well done. Okay, so here's the deal. Greg and Michelle don't have websites yet, but they can take checks in cash. Just FYI. Right? And they are going to need to know your address and your occupation when they take that. So just FYI for that one. So next up is our very own Ann Maxwell Chavez.
I don't have a loud voice, so I'm going to use this microphone. As I've said before, usually I'm a better listener, which helps me out in my job. So I'm Ann Marie Maxwell Chavez. I'm proud to say I've been your Sandoval County Magistrate Judge for Division 1 for the past 3 years, 2 months, and 12 days. And I love it. And I have to thank all of you. I've thanked you over and over. I turned in my petitions March 8th on Tuesday. I got approved for candidacy. And so I'm proud to say that I am ready for re-election, and I don't have opposition in the primary nor the general. But I still want to be out here because you need to know who is working hard for you as your magistrate judge for Division 1. So again, I just want to remind everybody that all of Sandoval County votes for all 3 divisions. So Division 1 and 3 are in Bernalillo. Sorry. I ran a little bit, that's how out of shape I am. So all of you vote for Division 1 and 3 are in Bernalillo. We're right behind the jail, so if you're around there, come visit us. Yeah, we're not in the jail. If you don't know where the jail is, that's a good thing. But we're right by Bernalillo. And then Division 2 is out of Cuba, as I call him Judge Eichel, because I was actually a clerk when Judge Eichel was a judge, so to me he's still a judge. So I worked under him and actually under Judge Baca, who I am now, she's the presiding judge for magistrate for Sandoval County. So again, keep supporting, get to know your candidates. That's really important. It's important for us to be out here. I still need your support. I'm going to be out here as much as I can. We're very, very busy, but again, I'm going to be out here as much as I can. I'm not collecting the $5 we're not part of that, so don't worry about that. Like I said, support those who need it. And there's a few things I wanted to make sure, but I think I got it all. So Ann Marie Maxwell Chavez, Division 1 for Sandoval County Magistrate Judge. Thank you all so much.
One more candidate, last but not least. Oh, by the way, I just want to point out, you know, all those petitions that we were like shaking the tree for so hard, she's unopposed. A Democrat will have that seat. That's important. That's really important. So, next, and our last candidate of the day, a woman who needs no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce you. I'm going to let her tell you all about who she is. Sandoval's very own, Laura Montoya!
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to look around this room and know everyone in here. I am asking you to be your state treasurer And for most of you, I'm here to tell you thank you. Thank you for mentoring me. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for being a part of my community, even all the way back to Las Vegas, New Mexico. I feel very blessed to have the opportunity and the availability of being able to run for this seat. I am the only woman of color running in a statewide contested race. And for a lot of people, that might not mean anything, but for those of us who had to walk in a journey where they've asked you to pick up the coffee when you were vice chair of finance, pension, and intergovernmental affairs, it really does matter. I'm going to give you an update. So we are the only union endorsed candidate. Local 412. Building and Trades, which is 18 unions underneath Building and Trades. And last night we just got carpenters, and we're on the list for a couple more. And that's important because the whole idea of why I want to run for treasurer is about bridging the gap of inequity between rich people and poor people. And in order to do that, you have to know where the money is at. And you have to look at a three-pronged approach. It's education, which is why I'm really pushing financial literacy in our schools. Our governor this year has dedicated public education department to finally start doing that, but we need to work with our legislators next year to make sure we get it in the law books. We're 47th in the United States in financial literacy. So when you have policies like the predatory loans that we've been fighting for years, and we finally got that done this year with a lot of people, it's very important for us to make sure that we're doing that. And then we're looking at the option of a state bank and conversating about that and how we can bridge that gap. So tomorrow's a big day. We're going to find out when our percentages on the ballot, and I'm asking all of you to stay tuned. It's tomorrow at 4 if you want to get on the Zoom, and I'd love for your support, your help, your guidance, your donations, anything you're willing to give. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Laura Montoya, for State Treasurer. Well done. All right, next up, another treasurer, Sandoval County Treasurer. I want to reintroduce many of you to Senator Brenda McKenna. She was elected in 2020 in District 9. She is a standing committee member of the Senate Health and Public Affairs and Senate Education Committee, and she's an interim committee member of the Indian Affairs Committee, the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee, Radioactive and Hazardous Materials Committee, Rural Economic Opportunities Task Force. You are busy. She truly serves our community and is one of the most accessible and transparent senators in our state. She is our District 9 Senator, Brenda McKenna.
Deb told me to do this. Let's see, I do this. Do I do this?
You can,
Okay.
as long as we can hear you.
As long as you can hear me. Yeah. I kind of like this. Is that right? How's that? Does that work? Is that loud? Is that all right? Am I
Everybody
not
hear?
that's right?
I think you have to hold it up close to your mouth.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
stage professionals.
Yep.
We're so fortunate.
You just have to hold it.
Do I have to hold it? Okay. Do I have to hold it? Okay, I can do that. All right. Okay. Thanks. Oh, cool. Cool, I can hold this. Oh, fuzz button here. Okay. Not this. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for your wonderful words. With that introduction, I really sound like I'm a dangerous person, but I'm not. I'm going to time myself because Alex said I've got 8 minutes, so I'm going to do this. And, okay, good, excellent. Thank you to all of our public officials here, our Commissioner Eichel, Commissioner Brook, thank you for being here, and all the wonderful candidates that want to to be a public servant, which is a very honorable thing to do. It really is, no matter what we go through. So what I thought I would do today is tell you a little bit about what's happening in the Roundhouse regarding our talking about an extraordinary session and that sort of thing. We met last night, and what has brought this forward, if you haven't already read it in the newspaper, is the governor vetoed SB 48, which is the junior bill. She did this on March 9th.
And I just thought I would read you a bit of the letter she wrote explaining why she vetoed it. I'm just going to bring up some highlights because of time. Despite its nickname, SB 48 is anything but quote-unquote junior. It is littered with tens of millions of appropriations. And I'm going to skip down a bit. Any significant expenditure of state funds should represent a thoughtful investment in the present or future of New Mexico and New Mexicans. I'm going to go down to the last paragraph. That money will be wasted on projects that will never be completed. Now, the reason I pulled out those sections of the letter is because that rationale and her vetoing the bill, which was really a big surprise to all of us, was very upsetting. I want to tell you about where I put my $600,000. $300 we got reoccurring, and $300 we got non-recurring. Horse Shelter Rescue Fund, $100,000. Sandoval County Health Council, $50,000. Implement the Water Data Act, $100,000. Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Initiative, $50,000. Statewide Dance Program, NDI, for low-income youth in public schools, $50,000. Help food security in Bernalillo and Sandoval counties, $50,000. Historic land research to determine culturally significant sites. This is for Village of Placitas, $100,000. And finally, protection of public health from PFAS, $100,000. So I mention all those because following the governor's letter, I don't believe this is being wasteful or littered with tens of millions of appropriations. We followed, all of us were directed, you cannot give to any entity but a state agency, and we couldn't start a new program. So everything that I put in for went to a state agency and didn't start a new program. So that's why there's so many of us that are upset about this. We anticipate next week there's going to be a decision. We're going to be caucusing again next week. I just thought I would share with you the genesis of that and why we're considering an extraordinary session or to do nothing at all. Okay? So there are reasons to celebrate, though, for the short session. My first one is educators' pay. I think highly of our educators, and so finally, when they start out, they're going to get that top pay of $50,000, secondary $60,000, up to $70,000, and then I understand with incremental steps regarding someone's educational achievement, there'll be more money for that. So that's a lot to celebrate. The Opportunity Scholarship, I don't know if folks have been reading up on that, but I wanted to make sure I shared something about that with you. So it's my understanding this Opportunity Scholarship is going to be the first in the nation. Yep. So this is going to pay for tuition and fees for all degree-seeking undergraduate students at state or tribal colleges in New Mexico. They can take 6 to 18 credit hours as long as and stay in the program as long as they maintain a 2.5 GPA. So this is great. So this is $105 million. So that's fantastic. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, this is something we didn't anticipate was going to be on the call at all because this was the Payday Loan Fix. So the governor had this on her call last year. It got derailed, something fierce. So this was fantastic, and we have to. I did checking with my wonderful colleague Senator Duhigg, and she told me it's because of leadership in Brian Eagle and Representative Herrera that the payday loan bill got fixed. It wasn't going to happen, but I'll tell you. So where it was, the lenders could loan money at 175% interest, which I think is complete usury. We got it down to 36. I think that's still usury, but it's a lot better. Florida has a 31% rate. We can do better than Florida. So the only thing is, there's going to always be a $25 fee to the loanee for loans $500 and under. So that's the compromise we made. But we decided, you know what? It's more important to get this fixed in our state and help those that are being wrongly targeted for these usury rates. Something else I want to say about this, when it got to the Senate floor and Senator Duhigg was presenting it, our colleagues on the GOP side proposed an amendment, and that was to delay the effective date 6 months. There was a lot of discussion. Senator Duhigg and all of the floor leaders, our pro tem, they were all in discussion. It took about 15 minutes to do so. They accepted that amendment, but guess what? When it was time to vote, we still had some on the GOP side that voted against the bill. And also, it's like, yeah, you try to be on a compromising spirit and camaraderie, and then that happens. So that was a disappointment. Oh, did I run out of time? My timer. Oh, Alex, my timer's working.
You're okay. We're fascinated. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. So tax package. That is good stuff because so there's a little bit of reducing the state gross receipts tax, 0.25%. But this is a good one. This is a really good one. So ending Social Security income from pursuing the next we were one of 12 states were still taxing Social Security, which I think that started in 1983 in the Reagan administration. I've always disliked it. So there's caps for that, but it's pretty decent. $100,000 for single, $150,000 for married filed jointly, and $75,000 married filing separately.
Thank you.
Yes, that's great. It is. So I'm going to keep that one short. I'm not going to go too much into that one. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, crime bill is good. Crime bill is good. I could not vote for the rebuttable presumption. There's just no way I could ever do that. I know the governor wanted us to do that. And I just couldn't vote for anything that's against someone's constitutional rights. And I also feared those that would be detained would be people of color. That's what happens right now. So I couldn't do that. But, you know, we got some really good stuff. Did you know, folks, that were using the GPS ankle monitoring anklets? There was a huge gap because they weren't being monitored 24/7. It was kind of like, and I'm paraphrasing, it was like after 5, there was nobody monitoring these anklets. And so, yeah, so that got fixed, and now it's 24/7. So that's good. Crime bill. Judges got some raises. There's more of us that think that they deserve more because it's really difficult to recruit attorneys to be judges in New Mexico because the salaries are so low. So it got better, it needs to get even better. Let me see. Voter rights. Okay, there were 3 bills to address voter rights in New Mexico, which I think is so important because of what is not happening in Congress and what I fear could happen in the Supreme Court right now. So SB 6, that was largely to fix technical cleanups, but that one got canned because the Republicans wanted to do some stuff about absentee ballots, and so it didn't fly. SB 8, which is the one I co-sponsored with Leader Peter Wirth and some other colleagues, that was to protect and advance voter rights, including allowing citizens who are 16 years old to participate in the voting process. And I know that is somewhat controversial for some folks, but if you talk to me on the side, I'll let you know why I believe in that. So, let's see. So SB 6 and SB 8, good parts of that got all put into SB 144. Senator Duhigg was on the House floor like in the wee hours in the morning, like 4:45 in the morning, and then it passed at 8 o'clock. And then Peter, our leader Peter Wirth, he started announcements in miscellaneous, and Senator Scher filibustered it for 2.5 hours. So that's a hiccup, but we're going to bring it back in 2023. Cannabis bill was going to get fixed, but there was a lot of concerns about water rights. But Senator Duhigg said that they were going to bring it back next year. Finally, the senators got 3.1 in capital outlay this year, which is an increase from last year because we've been doing very well. Thank you. Our cabinet secretary, Stephanie Garcia-Richard. And I know it's all about oil and gas, and I know we're benefiting from oil and gas. However, I still believe we have to diversify our economy. But because of, yeah, we have to. Our poor planet can't take this. Mother Earth can't take this. But anyway, so the money is there. We're able to do a lot of rollouts because of that, and that's why our junior bills of $600,000 and our capital outlay bills of $3.1 million were relatively high. So with that, I'm going to go because I know my timer is messed up. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I want to thank our host, Matucci's, once again for welcoming us.
I don't know whether Randy feels that or not, but I just want to say you are the first elected official that I have ever heard get up and tell what you were allocating the money for. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. No, it's public money. It should be out there. It's public money. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Absolute transparency. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. It's lovely. I love it. Great. Okay. Next up, can we have another hand for Senator McKenna? She is always reaching out to us. She's always coming and talking to us and letting us know what good work she's doing on our behalf, and we really, really appreciate her. So thank you, Senator. Next up, here is a man with impeccable Democratic credentials. James Jimenez, a former Chief of Staff under Governor Bill Richardson, former Cabinet Secretary of the State Department of Finance Administration, and former Rio Rancho City Manager. After serving as head of New Mexico Voices for Children since 2016, James recently retired from that position and is now the ED for New Mexico Voices for Children Action Fund. He is a longtime advocate for and an expert on early childhood education. Please welcome James Jimenez.
Thank you, Alex, and thanks so much for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. Senator McKenna, it's nice to see you, and thank you for all your hard work. It's already been mentioned the importance of the Payday Loan bill that passed, but that is something that many of us, our organizations, have been working on for decades, literally decades. It's something that prior to the passage of this bill, hundreds of billions of dollars every single year were flowing out of New Mexico to corporations on the East Coast and other places. So this is huge, huge for our families and for our businesses here in New Mexico. So thank you so much for your leadership on that. I'm here to talk about a really exciting event that's coming up a week from today. One of our very own, Karen Schaefer, has done an amazing job putting together an event in support of a constitutional amendment that would provide money from the Land Grant Permanent Fund for early childhood education and K-12 programs. Why is this important? Well, 12 years ago, you might remember we had a governor that was not all that much fun to work with. Governor Martinez and others were, I would say, they didn't have our values in terms of what was important for New Mexico's children and families. And as a result, funding for programs that would support children and families was severely cut back. 12 years ago, my predecessor, Eric Griego, some of you know Eric was political worker. He was the executive director of New Mexico Voices for Children. He asked the staff to come up with an idea of where we could get the money from to support these programs, so it would not come out of the state general fund. Because 12 years ago, the state general fund was not doing all. The Voices staff came up with the idea of redistribution from the Land Grant Permanent Fund. 12 years ago, we came up with that idea. And it took us until this last year to get the Constitution amendment passed by the legislature, and it will be on the ballot in November. Why is this important? Well, where do we rank in child well-being in New Mexico? 50. We rank 50 for child well-being. I know that because that's a product that New Mexico Voices of Children has produced for the last 20 years. It's something that we've spent many, many years working on. The most important thing that we can do to help our children and families and to build a stronger New Mexico, to build a stronger workforce, is to invest in children in the early years. Right now, there is not nearly enough child care programs that are affordable for working families. Think about what families have been through during this pandemic. People's hours have been cut back. People have lost their jobs. How are they supposed to go back to work when they don't have the child care that they need? Some of you know, because of Alexis's post on Facebook, that we have a couple of brand new grandbabies. One is 2.5, and it's 2 yet. I love it, it's just turned 6 months old. One of the really great things that our children are doing in support of their child, building their childbearing skills, is a home visiting program. Home visiting programs are so vital for getting new parents the information they need to understand what it's like to raise a healthy child. So home visiting programs should be another one of the programs. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail, other than to say that a week from today, at 10 o'clock, I think you have a flyer on your table.
Yes.
There's a special event. It's an online event from 10 a.m. to noon. Karen put this incredible agenda together that includes our Lieutenant Governor, Howie Morales, to speak. Hey, Howie. Howie, during the time that he was a senator, and of course, during the time as Lieutenant Governor, has been a fantastic supporter of childhood education. We also have a couple of legislators who were key in passing the constitutional amendment legislation. Representative Maestas, just south of there a little ways, and Representative Martinez, who is the majority leader in the House of Representatives. In addition to that, we will have the executive director of OLE. We will have Eric Griego, who is from the Center for Civic Action. We will have representation from the unions, and you will have me to talk about the Land Grant Permanent Fund, why it is so important. And you'll learn a couple of things. You'll learn where the money's coming from, where the money's going to go, how we're going to be held accountable for it, how the cabinet secretary is going to be held accountable for it. Then you'll learn who is going to be the opposition, because there is going to be opposition, and then you're going to be what the Constitution. Anything else? Karen?
That's great. That's beautiful.
Okay. With that, do we have time for a couple of quick questions?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
Who would be opposed to helping little children?
I was just thinking that, Alexis.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Who doesn't want to help his kids?
Alexis asked, who would be opposed to helping children? I know. You know, I think most people would not. You know, but we spent the first part of those 12 years trying to convince, really it was the other side of the aisle, why it's important to invest in early childhood programs. We got them convinced of the viability of early childhood programs. Now the argument is over where the money should come from. This is not going to raise anybody's taxes. We have a land grant permanent fund that is in excess of $25 billion. $25 billion. A very small portion of that will come to fund these programs. So probably oil and gas interests are going to be funding the opposition. With that, you can look at the handout in front of you. The link is there. And
You can go to SandovalDemocrats.org and sign up for legislators.
SandovalDemocrats.org. And the last thing I wanted to say is to the candidates for the legislature and NBC Action Fund. You will be hearing from us. We do endorsements. We will have some questions to ask you, and we hope to be able to endorse all of the candidates that are in the board today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time to visit with us today, James, and thank you for your guidance and support as we put together our Zoom on early childhood education next Saturday, March 19th. We look forward to the presentation. If anyone has not yet registered, again, you can go to SandovalDemocrats.org. It is a free event. Anybody can attend. So if you have friends and family members in the outer reaches of the state, invite them. It's free. Did I say it was free? I have another secret. No, you guys don't want to know. Anyway, moving on.
Wait a minute. You can't do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, March 25th, Friday, March 25th. Put it on your calendar, 1 o'clock to 2:30, right here in this building and this room. Melanie Stansberry will be here. Woo! Come talk to us. It's a special event by the Congresswoman, and she is also going to provide very light refreshments. But you know, if it's at Matucci's, it's wonderful, right? How's your lunch? Yeah? Good job. All right. I want to acknowledge executive committee members and precinct chairs. If you are a precinct chair, please stand up. No, just raise your hand. Okay, you can raise your hand. All right. Thank you to all of our precinct chairs. Big hand from, we really need your help. If you are not a precinct chair, contact us or contact me at chair@SandovalDemocrats.org. We need help. We need help organizing. We need help getting people out, motivated, connected, and together. And we know that the boat moves faster when we all row together, right? It's a nice metaphor. Can I see any executive committee members? Would you please stand or raise your hand? You're eating. Executive committee members, thank you for your service to our party. Events calendar is at SandovalDemocrats.org. You can find us at the events at the top of the page. So if you forget, for example, what time anything is, you can go to our events calendar. There's also a link to our website, so that's always good to know. Let's see. Karen, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, just sign up for next Saturday. I think it's going to be a great program.
It will be a great
If you're
program.
not a member of the Women's Federation, you should be.
Yes, definitely be a member of the Women's Federation. And Deb, again, do we have to be women to join?
Let me think about that a minute.
You can sign up for our monthly newsletter on our website at SandovalDemocrats.org. And the newsletter includes articles where you can find out what our chair is focusing on. Hey, big surprise! It's going to be the convention this month. You're going to want to read it, not just because I'm reading it. Learn about what our elected officials are doing. Read about efforts of local progressive organizations. Peruse opinions and fact checks discover volunteer opportunities, opportunities to help candidates with financial contributions. Please like us on social media and share our posts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're happy for this and grateful for this meeting place and staff. This has been a rough year for everyone, so please be kind to your staff. Tip, take something home, and thank you so much for coming out. We'll see you here March 25th at 1 o'clock. Come early to get a good seat. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. One more announcement. Pete. Oh, you don't need it.
Okay, I want to see you all. You know why, but this, from now on for a year, I only get to come to this for my own enjoyment. This is the last time in this cycle I'll be reaching into your pocket. I need briefly the 2 people for the legislature. That's 44 and 57. I need to see you 2 briefly. Katie, better half. Oh, and Gerald, your person I need to see. Your honors, I'm coming to you now.
Thank you, Pete.